BigFooty Blues. BigFooty Blues. BigFooty Blues. Turn the BigFooty Blues.
Welcome back to the BigFooty Blues Podcast. Yes, we are inconsistent. Yes, we are depressed about the season we are having. No, we have not lived up to our potential. However, we won't be moving to another podcast and we won't be sitting out the rest of the season so we don't strain our vocal cords or break a nail or something. Hi everybody, I'm ADN and joining me on the podcast tonight, hello ShanDog.
Hello, good evening.
Hey, happy dude.
Hello everyone.
And joining us once more, it's the Wookie. How you going, Wook? That's quite a statement there, mate. Right, we're moving on.
Is he protesting?
He's doing a Merlin from Big Brother with a tape over his mouth.
I think he's cleared out his locker and he's gone.
Too soon, man, too soon.
Yeah. We've lost him. We've got to get him back.
I don't know what the heck was going on there.
That's better.
You're back, and that's the main thing, mate.
All right, so how am I?
Right.
Good, thanks. Thank you.
No, that's great. Guys, it's been a while since our last podcast. To quickly catch up, we haven't had a win. Our injury list has grown. We are playing a lot of kids, and much to our surprise, after the good initial form we showed under John Barker, we have sunk to the dark recesses at the bottom of the ladder, and once again are a laughing stock. Same old, same old. While this has been happening, we're almost set to announce a new coach. A former coach has suffered a personal tragedy. We've had 2 players drop to the VFL for not meeting on-field expectations. And today another has announced he wants to be traded and has cleared out his locker as Carlton won't play him for the rest of the season. So you reckon that's enough to talk about?
There's a few things there, yeah.
Yeah, let's dispense with the structure a little bit and freestyle this podcast. Where do you guys want to start? Do you want to start?
You lay down a fat beat, and I'll rap over the top.
Look, do you want to start with that? Obviously, the big news today: Lachie Henderson has revealed the worst kept secret, and he's asked for a trade. Says he doesn't know where he's going. I find that hard to believe. And Carlton leadership group and the club, and supposedly Henderson involved in the discussion, said it's best for all that maybe we preserve his fitness for a new club and better chance of getting a better trade, and play some young kids because he's not going to be there to help us out, and also alluded to the fact that he wasn't in very good form, so probably would have been dropped anyway.
Yes.
So, what do we think of all that?
Look, I thought he was going to go from the start of the year. I've been pretty bullish about this on the Main Boards podcast. I felt he was going to go the whole time. He just didn't look interested. Was very non-committal when he was talking about the club. So I'm not surprised, and I'm glad they don't play him. Frankly, he can get stuffed. May as well put him in a box. And
I felt like we'd been cheated on when it was announced, though. You know, I was having such a good morning, and then I open up BigFooty and I read that, and I was like, what? But having now calmed down, I guess I'm sort of kind of glad at the end of the day. You know, people who don't want to be here, sure. Well, then see you later. Thanks for the memories. Good luck, and, we look forward to another draft pick or a trade.
Yeah, that's the message that's come out from Andrew McKay today too, isn't it? If you don't want to, if you don't love Carlton, then you're better off going somewhere else, sort of thing. So,
I'm pretty much got the same view as Shannon, or ShanDog rather. Yeah, I don't even know who that guy is. I don't know their names now. Except I was a little bit more devastated when I first heard the news because he was one of my favourites when we had him at centre half back.
Yeah, same. Yeah.
We got 102 games out of him, and about 15 were actually good ones, in my opinion.
Oh, it's a bit harsh.
I reckon more than 15.
I think they
would
back. What was it? Well, yeah, but I mean, he played a fair bit up forward too. I think he had about 6 games where he scored more than 3 goals. So.
Oh yeah, no, I don't rate his forward line work very highly at all.
No.
No, I don't know how.
He said he's basically got to do what he needs to do so he can be happy again and so that he can have some success. And the success part makes me bloody bristle, people.
Yes, that's the part that
how the hell? And we saw it last year with Bryce Gibbs saying, "I want to see what your plan is before I recommit to staying with you." We're seeing it with Henderson. We're probably seeing it with Yaron a little bit too. We've got these guys that are playing conditionally based on what the other guys are doing around them and whether they're good enough. And how can you compromise your own form and then turn around and say, I want to go somewhere else and have success when you are part of the reason that we're not having success?
Well, whenever someone says something like that, like Henderson has, I hope that they get struck with a bit of Nathan Buckley irony that he experienced as a player, which I still think is one of the most ironic things to ever happen in the world of football ever. I want to leave Brisbane and play for Collingwood because I want success. I want to win a premiership. Oh, look at me losing grand finals to the team I played for.
Yep. Well, Henderson's tipped to go to Geelong. Tipped to be a done deal there. I don't see Geelong winning a premiership in the next 5 years or so when Henderson's still running around.
No.
They are going the big rebuild, though.
Yeah, if they go the big rebuild and get Dangerfield and Selt, I heard today from West.
Yes.
I don't know how to pull that off, but
well, they're hoping that they'll make a big offer and Adelaide won't match it and he'll go free agent. So, that's the only way they can get him because they won't have the currency for him.
I think Adelaide will match that deal though.
Well, on Henderson though, what do you guys think we'll actually get from him for a trade? Are we talking sort of?
Well,
late
we've had him
teen
forward.
pick or?
I have no idea because we've had him forward all year and he can't play forward. So going off form, we don't have much to go with.
Look, we will get Geelong's first round pick out of it.
What's that going to be? It's going to be like a.
That's going to be around
14?
about pick 10. That's going to be about pick 10 or so. I think I'm expecting to finish around 9th.
What makes you think we'd get their first round pick for Henderson?
Oh, look, I think even Geelong, most Geelong supporters are thinking the same thing, but because of the way it's all happened, there's a little bit of risk there as far as his form this year. It's probably going to involve an exchange of second-round picks as well. So their second-round pick, based on that 9th place finish, will be about 29, where ours will be about 20. So we'll get the pick 10, then we'll have to go back in a second round, about 9 draft picks. So
if it works out like that, that's not too bad, considering that it's likely that we're going to be using some second, third round picks for the father-son stuff anyway. So
yeah, no, that doesn't sound too bad. I just hope if we end up with a pick 10, we don't go trading it for a pick 19 and 2 other people that don't play.
For Carlisle, we'll get suspended for 10 years. 2 years. 10, whatever.
I'd rather it be 10.
Yeah.
Don't want him.
I think Geelong are fairly good to deal with. I don't think they're as hard ass as some other teams are. And you look at this discussion with the Geelong people versus the discussion with the Richmond people who are looking at Yaron and their poles apart. Because Richmond really want to screw us to the wall. There's some talk of I can't remember his first name. What's his name? Walker from Geelong. And a second rounder. I don't know how far we're into it, but one thing stands out for me is the fact that we also mentioned that for the good of all, for the good of the club and moving forward, and the fact that he's not going to be a part of it, but also for the good of Henderson and him not getting injured in those last 3 weeks so we can get a good trade. It almost sounds as though we've come to some sort of agreement with Geelong. Some agreement in principle as to what they're going to offer, and we've wrapped their new acquisition in cotton wool.
Yeah, I think it was C4 to your door. He was the first that I saw to mention that, to say, hey, hang on, if they've already announced this, then it's more than likely that there's already something basically settled.
He can be pretty cluey at times.
Yes.
C4 at times.
Yeah,
backhand compliment that one.
Well, and see, doing it that way, we've done it with that announcement early, and as the reasons we're doing it. So we've got not only his form, not only the fact that he's not going to be part of our rebuild going forward, so we must replace somebody else, but also the fact that we want to protect him for a trade. We've given a few reasons there as to why it's a good idea, just to ward off, because normally you go, okay, now Henderson's been kicked out of the club for the last 3. These guys are fully on the tank. We're getting a little bit of that, but it's not so much because we've got on the front foot. So it's sort of it's a good way for us to ward off those accusations because we are going to get hit with them. So I think it was a pretty good announcement.
Enough of that turncoat.
Oh yeah, enough of that turncoat. Chris Yaron's the other one. With rumours coming out again today about Troy Menzel and Tommy Bell wanting out. So the media started latching on this and this club in crisis and everybody leaving. We've got people on the Carlton board suggesting that this is all because of the unhappy environment that our board has created for the players, instead of actually blaming the players for. If Henderson said he wants to leave for success, how do you put that on the board? I mean, it's not. You're just not unhappy.
We haven't been successful because the board have made shitty-ass decisions.
Well, that's true, but you can make bad decisions. But the vibe is that we're creating an unhappy environment, not just for the fact that we're not doing enough to win, but we're actually not respecting the players, not making them feel welcome and comfortable. And I'm thinking these guys are on $400,000 a year.
Yeah, I don't think it's because we're not making them feel comfortable. I think it's because we're doing things like having 5 coaches in 15 years.
Maybe there's too much blue around the place, that sort of like colour reaction stuff.
Apparently orange is the colour of happiness.
Well, there you go.
Maybe they want to go to GWS.
Oh, do you want us to add some bloody egg yolk chamois bloody colour back to our kit? Would that be...
Oh,
those were the days.
Didn't we just change the insignia on the front of our jumper to represent time of more success? Should we go back further and then actually bring back that yoke for a time of more success when we won a few in a row or whatever it was in the early 1900s?
I see no problem with this logic.
It'd bring back memories of when ODM was a kid.
Father Sign will have to go to his wardrobe and break out his old jumper that he used to wear down to Prince's Park. And when he was watching the boys run around back in 1907.
Thylacine 60 was taking me to the football.
Does anyone actually think that Yaron's going to stay?
No.
His demeanour does not say that he's willing to stay.
He's not going to stay, but he is under contract. So all these people talking about, hey, he's worth a second rounder at best, or a second rounder, or one of our players who died last year. That sort of crap. And this is what's coming from the Richmond supporters at the moment. I don't know where we place his value. If you place his value based on his form this year, then obviously he's not going to get a lot. But people aren't chasing him. Damien Barrett, which automatically makes this a lie, said that several Richmond officials met with Yaron weeks ago. All right, several, and it implied it was more than one visit. Right, so. They're not doing that based on a VFL player. And this is what people are trying to say. He's in the VFL. He's not good enough to be in the worst side in the AFL. That's bullshit. That's not why you guys are chasing him. You're chasing him for what he can do and what he has done. He was fourth in our best and fairest last year. Yes, he hasn't had an elite season. He's had elite half seasons, and a couple of those. But he is a major point of difference that a lot of clubs want. So stop wanking us around. And actually, so recognise that there's some value there. And the fact is, we do have some leverage because he is under contract. And from my point of view, I want the club to make a stand. I'm sick of, you think of the Sam Jacobs trade and the Sean Grigg trades, and we just got screwed to the wall. These guys nominating the club and us getting bugger all back for it, and it hasn't worked out for us. A second round pick in a weak draft means nothing to us.
Yeah,
right? If we have pick 1 and we have pick 20 and we get a first round pick for Henderson, and there's 3 right there. Who knows? We maybe get a first round pick for Menzel if he chooses. That second round pick for Yaron could be our 4th or 5th best draft pick this year. And what are the chances of a pick around in the late 20s or something actually working out a successful player in a weak draft? I'd say less than 40%.
Isn't every draft weak apparently?
Oh yeah, that's true. I accept that point that they always say that, and it's usually not the case. But still, the facts suggest that a pick around that mark is less than a 50-50 chance of having success.
Yeah, and if there's any Richmond supporters that are going to be listening to this, which I highly doubt, when are they just going to start changing their jumpers and supporting Carlton? Because like if they take Yarran, that's 4 of their best 22 that came from us, and they still can't win a final.
Well, we're basically Richmond's feeder side at the moment, aren't we?
Yeah, but what are we feeding them? Like they still haven't won a final.
Well, hopefully they've got a taste for Warnock, and we give them them.
Warnock's another one I won't be surprised has gone at the end of the year.
Oh, he's not even worth discussing. Like,
I mean, everybody's cleaning out their lockers in droves by the look of it, and we know we need another ruckman to replace.
At this point, I'd take a half-eaten sandwich for Warnock.
Let's hope that we don't go down that road of having no other ruckman to back us up and leaving Warnock on the list after what he's been doing. I don't care if it's minimum wage. What's he going to do for us? He's been injured. He hurts us on the field more often than not. We might as well just go to the VFL and pluck out another bloody delisted former AFL player somewhere, like we did with Cameron Wood. We'd be far better off. So hopefully.
I like the looks of Alex Arokio in the Northern Blues senior side at the moment, the American. I like him a lot, actually.
American.
Yeah.
Not in that way.
Is that the one we've taken on as a Category B rookie?
I think so.
Or does that happen from next year? I'm not sure.
He's only arrived in the last few weeks, or is that somebody else?
No. That's a different guy.
That's a different one. So we've actually got an American bloody basketballer now. He's joined the club now. He'll be a Category B rookie next year. Can't remember his name offhand. Alex
Rocco is the guy that came here under his own steam. He paid his own way over, and he took the gig with the Northern Blues last year, the start of this year. And he's doing well by all accounts.
So we can, because he's American, we can add him to the list as a Category B rookie, yeah?
I'm not sure if there are limits on how many Category B rookies from
you can have 2. So Kieran Burns on that list. So I would think of him as being a certainty to be promoted up to the rookie list proper, or actually straight to the senior side, in my view. So I'd be happy with the 2 American big lads as our Cat B rookies and see what they can do.
Moving away from the Isle of the Potato for a change.
Yeah,
I'll be happy that we have a Project Ruckman for a change.
Yeah. I mean, look, if he's not very good and he can just stand there and wave his arms around, then we've replaced Warner.
We haven't lost anything, have we?
Hey guys, look at us. We've found something positive to talk about. Let it be, the Project Ruckman slot on our list, possibly maybe being sorted for the next year.
Hey,
positivity.
If he's got a smattering of aggression, then we've doubled Warnock. So
the only way to go is up.
For a quarter of the price,
all right, where we are. That's enough of trades. No, everybody wants out, and nobody wants to pay us for them. That's fine, whatever. If you want out, leave, but where we can hold firm, then we should.
You know what I would do with Yarran? I would clean out his locker while he's out tonight. I'd clean out his locker, take the paint off it so it's just grey when he goes in tomorrow.
Yep.
And then say, look, you're either part of the club or you're not, and until you are again, your locker's staying this colour. You can't. We're giving you the Live Strong jumper we wore a couple of years ago. You can wear that one. You can't even wear the navy blue. That's it. You want to be on your own? Be on your own.
And then make him paint the locker when he decides.
Chris Yarran,
me, Mr. Tom Sawyer. This isn't fun.
You know what I would do with Yarran? And a lot of you guys will probably get this, hopefully. I'd Willie Mays Hayes the hell out of him. I would put his bed outside the ground when training's about to start and make him run for his place back in the side again. Any Major League fans there? Did you get that reference?
Yeah, I've seen, yeah.
I got it.
No.
That
went down like a lead balloon.
Well, if people want to blame our culture, I'll just they may not know that in the American football just the other week, the one team actually had a defending player punch the quarterback in the mouth, break his jaw, and now he needs surgery and he'll be out for the first 6 to 7 weeks of the NFL season. So at least our culture's not that bad.
No, we're doing it right. We just kick him up the playground once in a while.
Yeah, well, that's what I thought, but we haven't done that in a few years, so we're on the way up.
Oh, jeez, I'll tell you what, we should get Satanta back for a little bit of passion in the jumper, I should
Speaking of people we could get back, can't we get Fev? Is he still running around?
Oh yeah, he's sculling cans of alcohol during his games.
He's still kicking goals though, isn't he? He's doing better.
He would still be a better full forward than Lachie Henderson. Let's face it.
All options have to be on the table.
Let's go. Let's talk coaches. We believe we're down to our last two candidates. If you believe the whispers coming from the media, Carlton will be pretty good, pretty tight-lipped about all this. I saw Chris Judd on the Footy Show, and he would give nothing away, tighter than a seal's proverbial. Brendan Bolton or John Barker seem to be our last two candidates, but we do like the Bees, and Scott Burns has been. We've been told that he interviewed and presented extremely well. So I'm not discounting that there could be a
Smoky
somewhere. So, well, I mean, the media's saying there's only two, and they're saying that Bolton's got 3 years and it's already done deal and stuff like that. But
if there's only two, I highly doubt Barker's actually one of the two.
No, that's what I'm well, Barker's one of the two by all accounts. However, I'm just saying if Carlton truly have not decided, and they probably have, but I would say that from what I've heard, that Scott Burns was right in the mix. But he's also right in the mix of the Adelaide job. So Brendan Bolton apparently is withdrawn from the Adelaide job.
I think when it comes down to it, I mean, I've been very bullish on the Brendan Bolton thing from...
You've been bullish about everything, haven't you?
I am. I'm always bullish, though.
You bull in the China shop, whoop.
Doesn't always work for me, but I am always bullish on things. But Brendan Bolton's been one of those things, and I'll tell you why. Because I'm fed up with coaches that just sit there and glare at the camera, or wage these mini little wars with News Limited journalists or Channel 7 journalists or whatever, and give nothing to the supporters.
Yep,
that's what I'm fed up with. And Brendan Bolton, he's an exciting bloke. He's got some enthusiasm about him. He's an approachable guy. I think he's going to inject some enthusiasm into the club.
Oh no!
That's what I want to see.
Don't say inject.
Yeah,
that's what
Free and Carlisle injecting things. I don't like where this is heading.
Well,
James Hurd, assistant coach, he's free. No,
I don't want that theory
I'll
guy.
tell you the other thing with Scott Burns. It'll be a long, cold day in hell before I get behind any former Collingwood personnel coaching a Carlton again.
No, yeah, I agree with you. We've done the Collingwood light thing, and we got ridiculed for it. And there's rumours that David Butterfont is on the way out as well, but time will tell on that. So we've cut a little bit of Collingwood out of our system, haven't we, over the last couple of years?
What has anyone seen anything about Rob Wiley though? Because I haven't noticed anything about recently about whether or not he's going to be staying on.
I just don't see him staying on. This really, really strong mail, and I'm not sure why, but there's really, really strong mail that Neil Craig is going to come and be that coaching director type.
I'm actually pleased to hear this. I rate Neil Craig's tactical nous.
Yep. Well, I don't know what he did at Essendon, but he certainly is not to blame for it. But I think he came in after all that stuff blew up.
Yeah, no, he did come in afterwards.
I
rate Neil Craig as a coach. His match day changes weren't the greatest, but he did good things with Adelaide for a period there.
And and we're hearing that Dean Laidley's likely to stay on and as an assistant coach. So
he's also got another good tactical nous.
Well, I wasn't sure. I always thought Laidley would be a good overseer for a younger coach, and thought he might be good for that role. But then if Craig's doing it, I was sort of wondering, well, what's Laidley doing? But it was pointed out to me, look, Laidley's been in charge of our midfield, and as far as contested possessions and clearances and stuff like that, we've been
we've been all right.
It's been a success. It's probably still not working as hard defensively. The fitness hasn't been there, but. I guess if Laidley's there while we've got somebody like Patrick Cricks dominating and and Nick Graham coming up the ranks and a few others that have come into that side of things like Nick Holman and that, then he's probably deserves to stay.
I still think we need a full clearance out of the coaching staff. Just get rid of them all and start again.
Yeah, I wouldn't be opposed to that. Yeah.
There's too much of a malaise around the club at the moment, and I'll let Happy Dude look that one up later. But
It's a Malaysian mayonnaise, happy dude.
Don't even know why. But there's too much of a greyness over the club. It's people. It's not just players that aren't happy. I don't think the supporters aren't happy. The coaches, they can't be happy. The board is. There's a malaise over the club, and I think it's we need to do something at board level, which is completely separate, obviously. But I think the coaching staff, they either need to move along and move out, and let's bring in some new blood altogether, and let's get let's start from the ground as we can. We can't get rid of the whole list, but we can get rid of the coaching, and we can pull in a new coaching stuff and let the new guy bring in whoever he thinks he needs to fulfil his vision. Don't leave him saddled with whatever's left from Malthouse and the guy before him.
Yeah. See, while I like that idea, who's paying for this?
Who's paying for the last? Who's paying?
Look, I believe that most of it, pretty much all our assistant coaches are out of contract at the end of the year. They're sort of tied of them with mixed contract. But
that's fine, I can see. Say, if they're out of contract, that's fine. But if we're going to have to pay out contracts and then get quality assistant coaches, we might. Yeah, I don't know.
I would hold on to Laidley, and I would hold on to Sav Rocker in his part-time capacity.
Oh yes, good old Sav Rocker.
I don't see the point of Matthew Capuano as a ruck coach because that has not worked for us, as far as I can tell.
I do believe MS3 spoke or posted earlier in the season that there's going to be a big clean out of coaches at the end of the year, and I think he did mention that Laidley was one that was sort of safe for his job. We weren't looking at replacing him, but yeah, the rest were all very lucky to keep their jobs, I think, if they do.
I've grown to like John Barker's demeanour. I hadn't seen much of it before. I like the way he talks. I like his demeanour. He seems a very sort of laid back and likeable sort of guy.
And
as
his
a line
philosophies
coach
too.
Yeah, so I mean, I've been a bit surprised with that. I think it's pretty harsh when you put your hand up to be a caretaker coach so far out. It's probably the only way he was going to even get an interview for a senior job is to take that on, but he was always going to be up against it. And the funny thing, the weird thing is, once you actually put your hand up as a caretaker coach, you're automatically become a threat if you don't get the job. So being an assistant under Bolton, the fact that he actually had designs on the job himself automatically rules him out of a job, and that's really harsh. So I guess we'll just see how the club go. The club kind of want a lot of these guys to be staff members rather than just pigeonholed as coaches. And sort of if they can't fulfill one role, maybe they can slide into another one. So who knows? Maybe there's a role for him somewhere. But
he might be able to go coach Essendon or something.
Oh, look, maybe. Gee, I'll tell you what. Look, he's not bad. I mean, I would.
Yeah,
I know some people.
He's not bad, but
some people rate. Who's our VFL coach? Luke Webster or something? Yeah. Is he still there? Yeah. Okay. The Northern Blues are a mess.
Oh yeah.
It's a schmozzle, and it's probably. I know we've got injuries and so forth, but the quality of player that we have in the Northern Blues is nowhere near as good as what other VFL teams have. And, if you believe the people that are out there watching those games, the AFL listed players have no idea what the VFL players are going to do with the ball, and it's hurting. And obviously the Northern Blues need to actually be able to attract a better class of player to fill up the rest of the spots in that side.
That's a whole different issue.
Well, maybe so, but I can see. I don't know whether it's development. The development has been slow.
Preston might have a hard time attracting people. That could be a money thing on the Northern Blues side.
But I'd like to see Carlton get involved. I mean, they either should be going it alone as a VFL team, or they should be. I know Preston don't want to lose any more identity than they've already lost because they've already lost 99.9% of it, but. Carlton need to be helping with the branding and the marketing and the recruiting and whatever they need to do, whether it's having even just VFL listed players, training with AFL players more often, being closer to the club, seeing how an AFL club works, maybe actually being one step closer to their dream of getting a call up one day. Something that's actually going to be an incentive to actually come to the Northern Blues and actually just raise that quality level so that our listed players are developing properly and not just getting smashed every week. So
yeah, but the whole talking about your VFL team has to be successful while your AFL team doesn't really work out, because there was a time there where while Hawthorn were being successful, Box Hill weren't as successful yet. Now they both are, but there was a time there where that wasn't the case, and Preston were doing very well. We made a few VFL grand finals in a row, and we were just maybe scraping into the 8.
Yeah. But they've also had an exodus. When they started falling down, they're not a team that can fall down the ladder in the VFL and actually keep their players, because we've had a few top VFL players leave. So I don't know what they do, but I could see. My point was, I could see John Barker being a good coach of the Northern Blues.
Yeah,
and being employed by the Carlton Football Club, and in that capacity.
Yeah, I was going to say he seems to be not a bad coach, but I still don't think he's too good of a coach.
Okay.
I still think we need, and I know this is slightly off base here, but I think we still need to cut Preston loose.
Yep.
And get us back to Princess Park.
Mm-hmm. Wouldn't it be lovely?
Most of our home games are at Princess Park, I think, now at this point, or is it a 50-50?
There's 3 played at City Oval or whatever it is, Preston City Oval.
Yeah, and the rest are at Princess Park.
Yeah.
That would be most of our home games.
But I want us back under the Carlton banner. I want us in control of our development. I don't want our players going back to the VFL and not knowing what the hell they're doing, where they're playing, how they're playing. Let the Preston guys go. If they make it, they make it. If they don't, they don't.
Well,
screw.
Speaking of the VFL players, we likely, you reckon, to see any other new faces like Viojo Rainbow or anything like that?
Jeez,
what's happened to Trout? Has it?
He hasn't done enough, has he?
Maybe.
Masterful trade draft period.
I think he had a game. Oh, he's a bit slight, and he probably needs a bit more development. I think he played a good game in the VFL a few weeks ago, and people said, "Oh, maybe he's on the way up, and he's a beautiful deliverer of the ball, but he just doesn't get enough of it, and he's a bit slight." And I don't know. It's God knows we're going to have holes in our list. We'll probably drop half the team. They'll probably want to leave, so then we won't have a choice. But I made a comment during the week that probably based on who's currently available, Jason Tutt's probably in our best 22 again, which is pretty sad. So, I mean, this week, I don't know. I know Casbolt may be coming back from injury, but we were a little bit one man short last week. Maybe we're looking again at whether Matthew Watson or Liam Jones get another call up.
Oh God!
I think it's against the law for Matthew Watson to play seniors now.
I think it's against the law for Liam Jones to put on a Carlton jumper again.
Are we a little bit scared that Matthew Watson might have a Essendon type game, kick 4 goals or something, and everybody goes, give him another contract, and then he'll do nothing for another year or 2 years?
Oh, that's been the way we've operated, isn't it?
It is, absolutely. So, I mean, we're probably thinking we've cut our losses, but I don't know.
I'm wondering if we've got too many players to cut to fill the number of picks and trades that we're going to do. So him and guys like Allard might still find themselves with
Allard survives again.
Yeah, with a 1-year contract.
You got your wish, blue gunslinger. The WA Blues boys still on the list.
We're going to end up cutting everyone and going to like round 14 in the national draft.
Pick 320, Carlton.
We're picking random guys from the EDFL and stuff.
Hey, I'm half expecting to call up. They might do a members raffle, and because I got a membership, put my name out.
Yeah, I'll buy a $200 ticket if it means I might play.
Yeah, I was saying the numbers earlier tonight. Basically, we're at the point now where anyone that owns a Carlton jumper in their wardrobe is going to get a call up.
Oh, sweet.
Oh, yeah. As long as, if I do get the call up, as long as the game I play in, we lose by less than what we did to Hawthorn, then I haven't done that bad.
Mm-hmm.
As long as I'm not included in the biggest loss ever, it could always get worse.
While we're talking about bad contracts, guys, and what Carlton of old used to do, we do have a certain Stephen Silvani now in control of all that. Do we think that he's going to be more of the same? Do we have a good feeling about it?
I do.
I think he's the guy for the rebuild. I think he absolutely is. GWS is proving that every day at the moment.
Seems that he's come in. He hasn't had an awful lot of emotion towards the players. He's been very business orientated, and people thinking maybe Sauce has indicated that to players like Henderson, well, there's no guarantees in life, mate. Being pretty matter of fact about it, and thus the theory that we haven't shown them a lot of love. I can't say, based on if he's been watching Carlton at all the last couple of years, I can't say that I blame him for having those, for thinking, no, the club controls this, not you, and you perform before we offer you another contract, and I've got to say it's probably the right course of action, because we just floated along for a long time now.
Yeah, it's exactly what I was going to say. I think I get the impression that the Saucers come in and said, no, if we're going to do this, we're doing it properly. I'm going to go down the same method with GWS, get as many draft picks as we can, balance out the list with young players, and build from there, instead of doing what, realistically, looking back, seems like we've just been treading water for the last few years. Picking up other players, other clubs, cast-offs and things to try and, hopefully they fill a position and this and that, and not getting to the core of the problem, which is enough quality on the list, and I think that's what he's going to do.
Well, enough quality and enough intensity from the players, so get rid of those, get rid of the cat out the cancer, those who aren't being intense, who aren't actually playing 100% each game, start cutting them out of the side. It's the only way forward.
I think we're seeing the benefits of Sauce being kind of been self-exiled from Carlton for the last 15 years or so.
No passion about it, you reckon? Just business?
I think he's been able to sit back and not have any particular... While he feels a kinship with the club, he's not felt any special attachment to it.
Yeah, and
the way he fell out with Kernahan and all those guys that were there at the club then. And so because of that, I think we're reaping the benefits of him being able to separate himself from his career.
Not being part of the worst decade in our history.
Well, we speculated on a lot of these players being up for trade last year. We speculated on maybe Yaron should be up for trade, Gibbs should be up for trade. We were sick of the performances last year, and we won 7 games, and we're a little bit more competitive than we are this year. And people are thinking, well, something's got to change. Big names like we're told. Malthouse knew we needed a rebuild. He's been cleaning out the deadwood since he got here. Well, exactly, he cleaned out the deadwood, but he didn't make any. He didn't make any statements. He made a statement with Laidley, who was in the VFL. He tried to keep Waite. Waite made that statement on his own, right? So we haven't actually made an example out of these players, right? He dropped Yaron once for a bit of attitude, being made sub. I think Barker's dropped Yaron twice, hasn't he? Well, he's certainly been punished twice for being late to training and stuff like that, and he's been dropped for it. Menzel got dropped for his lack of intensity. That hasn't happened before. Every time Menzel was out, it's because he was injured. And Henderson's on his bike. He was like
and probably dropped this week anyway, according to him. So.
But we've made some. We've actually started saying it's not just the fringe players that we're going to make an example of to let you know we're serious. Right now, for the first time in a long time, first time since Favola was traded out, we've actually said enough.
Yeah, Barker's actually in a position to be able to do that, though. He's not the coach trying to get... he's not the guy who's at the end of his contract like Malthouse and trying to, get that insta success to get another contract for coach.
No, but it's not. I mean, as far as actually saying you can leave, Lachie, this is the way it's going to be, mate. Then off you go. We won't stand in your way. Yes, that's where you want to be. Okay, off to the VFL, and we won't stand in your way. And I've got to think the first time we've actually had a dedicated list manager in place. The first time ever, as far as I can recall. We've had recruiting guys doing a little bit of it, like Rogers did a little last year. McKay's been doing a little bit of it. Greg Swan had his hand in every pie and was doing all that sort of stuff. We've actually got somebody who's doing this as a dedicated job now. And his first year in, he's slashing.
Well, I'm excited for the off-season. There's so much change coming in and so much opportunity to be had. It's going to be good.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. We're going to get smashed next year.
Probably.
But I'd rather get smashed with a little bit of a GWS flavour, than getting smashed with a
Thomas and Liam Jones.
Yeah, with guys that are over the hill and we're never going to take us forward and all that sort of stuff. So if you're going to get smashed, do it the right way and know that there's rewards at the end of all that pain.
Exactly.
Yeah. Who else we got? I mean, Bailey Rice, prospective father-son, we thought that he was all going to be locked up and choose Carlton as a to come to Carlton as a father-son candidate. Now we're hearing some rumours that maybe he's going to choose St Kilda again, even though he's been playing for the Northern Blues. The AFL have actually come out and changed that rule so that he doesn't have to choose one of us. He can choose. He can either choose none of us and go straight into the draft proper. He can choose one of us, and that's the one that gets to bid against whoever else wants to bid. Or if he chooses Carlton first, and Carlton say, you know what, we don't want to pay where that bid has been placed, he can nominate St Kilda as a backup, so St Kilda can come in and say, well, we'll match that bid. So he does get 2 bites of the cherry as far as father-son go, and I think that's a good rule change. But you know, he's a half-back flanker. I think he looks good. He's a strong player. He's got good disposal, but we have a lot of half-back flankers. So if somebody tries to make us overpay for a flanker, I'm over flankers. I mean, really, in a team that's rebuilding, we want young key position players. We want midfielders coming up together. You know, a little bit of a lot of insides and a few outsiders. You know, maybe a project ruck coming into the side. Flankers cap off a good side. They don't
make one.
Bring along. Yeah. They don't make one. No, they're the things you put on top afterwards. They're the last ones chosen in the chain, and we have so many flankers, and that's why.
You're thumping the desk saying that, weren't you?
Yeah, he's trying to get a jab there.
That's why if Menzel decides he wants to go, you know, he's talented as he might be, and in a really good side, he's not going to do much for Carlton while we're rebuilding. He doesn't have that sort of a work rate, and he's not that sort of a player. He's a flanker, as it stands. Get a first-round pick or a late first-round pick or somewhere between 10 and 18 for him as well, and pick up somebody that we can actually use. Anything else you guys want to discuss? Anything else that's rattling around your brain? Any rants to be had? Yeah, we've got two of the best ranters ever on the podcast tonight, and not a lot of ranting happening.
Nah, they've broken me.
Yeah, complacency has set in it. So
yeah, I'm pulling a Henderson.
You soft. All right, I think we'll wrap it up for tonight. It's been a good chat. I think it's been a few weeks. We've totally not mentioned any of the football. I don't care what happens in the Melbourne. I do actually. I really want to win this week, guys. I really want to win. I know it's going to hurt if you lose the number one draft pick and all that sort of stuff, but I just want to win.
It'll be nice.
I want a circuit.
I don't care about number one draft pick. I
know, and there's a lot of people out there. A lot of people out there who do, happy dude, and you know, I just want us to give it our best effort, and I'm hoping the events of this week will actually make the rest of the boys lift. And I want to give I'll give special mention to Michael Jamison. Now, he copped a fair bake after last week's game where he didn't shake hands with Mitch Robinson, and I thought it was a bad look myself. But he went on radio, and he talked about how the players need to really be playing for the jumper. It's been a long time since I've seen one of our players actually say that. I heard them say it. And he talked about how he is genuinely excited to be there while the young blokes start rebuilding and building Carlton into a side that can have success in the future. He knows he won't be there. They asked him the question, you know, what does it feel like? You're rebuilding again and you're probably not going to be there when Carlton has success. And he said you come to terms with the fact you're not going to have success, but I'm really excited to see what these young blokes can do and be there for them. And I love it. That's Jamo, Simo.
Yep.
You know, if we can keep them around for a little while, that'll be fantastic. All right, guys, thanks for coming in. Thanks, Happy Dude.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Thank you, as always, ShanDog.
Good night, everyone.
And Wookie, thank you so much for coming on. It's been a real pleasure.
Buenas noches, senoritas.
Night all.
Hey, Mr.